Hey everyone, it's Anna from Astralladytarot. I just came back from work and I immediately felt like filming, and this is because I have something to say about worrying, actually. It's not something I think I do a lot, and then I catch myself. I actually do that all the time. And tarot is such a wonderful tool. This is why we are here on the tarot side of YouTube, aren't we? This is why you are watching this video. This is why I am making this video, because without the cards, I don't think I would have been able to get a reflection like this about two separate topics in one same spread, the same reading. And so I want to talk about that. So relax, and here we go. The deck I used this afternoon before getting ready for work, because in case you don't know, I am a dance teacher, and so my work starts late but also definitely ends late. I used the Halloween tarot because I'm still into it, and sort of a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, so always very clear messages, and also it's just such a fun read. I talked about this deck a lot in the last month, I think, because yeah, I'm using it. So that's why it's in the decks I'm using now. It's an autumn deck, it's a spooky deck, but also it's not, what's it called? One of those decks that aren't serious in themselves. I mean, we get cards like these, which are not necessarily that much Rider-Waite-Smith clone, but it's still a serious message, right? So I wasn't really doing a spread or anything like that. I just had a question or two in mind and then just shuffled the deck every time I asked the follow-up question. I do that sometimes, and it's like a conversation with your deck, right? It's a really busy time for me right now. It's always a busy time near the end of the year. So we get the energy shift of the darker months and also the colder months, the months where there is less light, and therefore we get a little bit less vitamin D, even less than we usually do get in Holland. And yeah, just the days are shorter, all of that. We like the cozy vibe, of course, but your energy level does get a hit from that, I think. We need to get used to that. So I always feel that a lot. That plus just the fact that as a teacher, I think it doesn't matter which profession you're doing. As I said, I am a dance teacher, so it is a hobby thing that people do, not only children, teenagers as well, and adults. Also, I teach adults. People do after their job is done, but even in that teaching job, I'm trying to say, the end of the calendar year is always a busy time. I don't exactly know why though. I guess October there's a week off, and around that week there's a lot of things we need to get done, and then I think it's due to the holidays actually. So there's the good and the bad. There's just the fact that it's wonderful to have the holidays off so I can visit my family. I mean, fingers crossed that this can still happen this year. We'll see. But around that, and the fact that we have to get things done, the fact that we have to prepare for this holiday, actually, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be ready before that so that we can properly prepare for the next calendar year, which is still, of course, the same school year, the same season. There's It's still, a lot of busy time before we finally have a little bit of rest. So it's a real balance of extremes kind of thing. It's not like we stay the same all the time. Maybe having a teaching job with all of those holidays sounds like a nice thing, and it is. It really is. I love my job, and I don't mind the schedule either. I'm not a morning person. It's better that I end the days late because I start the days late. That's my natural rhythm. But It is true that, first of all, I'm a freelancer, so I don't get paid during the holidays. I mean, I'm free, but that basically means that I don't have a job during that time. And so I'm making videos and I'm doing the Patreon thing, and I really love that. So that is now really an integral part of my tarot income and just my tarot interest, just that side of my practice, just that side of me. I have two jobs, I'm a dance teacher and a tarot reader. So, and actually in there I see the whole thing with making videos. That's just the tarot part getting a new form. I never expected this to happen, but here I am trying my best, doing my best. And I totally forgot the second part. But let's talk about the spread, shall we, finally? Because I had my Halloween tarot in my hands, already shuffling, and I was thinking, okay, I really want to do this. I had this specific idea of what I wanted to do with my students today in class. And I knew that for a lot of them, this would be a first because it was more like a workshop style instead of taking a dance class style. But I really wanted to give them that experience and also just see if they would agree that it's a lot of fun to work that way as well, so that we can implement that into the class. So it's a little bit more of a free form class. But that idea just gave me a little bit of a worry state of mind because these groups, they're not very large yet. The groups still have to grow, so there's a worry there in itself as well. Let's hope these I don't want these classes to be canceled. It's really a lot of fun, and it should just continue so that I can still teach and that these students still have a class to go to, right? So we need more students. So just in there in itself, there is a little bit of a stress factor present in itself already. So maybe I'm also kind of overthinking some things, right? But anyway, with this less structure thing, these are small groups, but challenging groups. And I love my students, really I do, but it is just what I'm saying, a challenging group. Everyone's a little bit more high energy and busy energy than I naturally am, which is fine, but it's at the same time a small group. I don't know if there are any other dance teachers watching here, but teaching small groups is more difficult than teaching large groups, because with large groups you just do your thing, and you maybe, if they're kids, you have to tell them to pay attention every so often, who cares? But with small groups, you have to take care of their energy level, that they're not overworking themselves, and it's really almost like a private class if the group is really small. And there's just so much more that just worries me in itself. So that was just a little bit of a context in itself. I hope it helped with my story, but I still wanted to take up that challenge and do this workshop idea that I had for my classes. So, how do I go about it? Because I want to do it, but especially with a younger group, because on this day it goes up in age. I wasn't sure if they would be able to do it, but I got the King of Wands, which is the King of Imps in this deck. And to me, the King of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith especially, but in every system, it's a leader and a creative leader and a fair leader, but also very strict. But this person I see, has the potential to be this genius, or already is one in its own right, and therefore is also loved. And therefore, when you take on this role and you are strict, you need to be, well, maybe tough is the word I'm looking for, but you need to be strict or tough, but fair. And that is how you will become this beloved leader. And yes, it's bold because it's fire. And yes, it's this very clear view on the matter because it's the element of air. That's how I read the kings. So all of that is implemented here. But I must say, when I saw this card, which usually is inspiring because I know which role, as a court card, which role I can take on in that moment, it's great advice. I also got a little bit of a, do I really want to do this? Are you sure? Are you actually telling me this? You know what I mean? Like, even professional tarot readers, or whoever here is watching, you know, no matter how long you've been reading tarot, sometimes we think, even if we said we would never do that, we still think that can't be right. That cannot be right. Of course, I know that I should take this advice. Basically, I was being my own bad client, bad tarot querent, and reading the card, getting the message, very clear message, but basically deciding I would not do it. So, horrible, horrible moment as a professional tarot reader, or as a tarot reader. Who cares if I call myself a professional or not? By the way, all I mean by that is that I do it as a part of my job. We are all as professional or unprofessional as we present ourselves. Anyway, my next question was, really? How are they going to react? Or how is this going to feel in the studio? Or basically, this more of it was a little bit towards that third party future kind of thing, but at the same time, it was still, connected to, so, all right, what exactly can I expect? Where is this energy going kind of thing? And I got the Fool. Major Arcana. It's a slightly different type of Fool than we see in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, but here he is, the Fool, in its full clown form. So to me, this looked a little bit chaotic. It also answered my question because this card was for me, and this card would be for especially the younger students who never had this experience of the workshop type class. So honestly, together, I could have stopped there, right? I could have stopped with just the fact, all right, I have to be this strong leader and I can be creative here, which is exactly what I feel like doing today. So I should follow that passion, follow that fire, and share this part of the passion that I have for my job because I'm passionate about dance, I'm passionate about teaching dance, and this card is for them. Why is the Fool card? Why does the Fool card feel so negative today, or feel like chaos or a worry point again, or a stress factor, whereas I know that the Fool is just an energy that goes out into the world and just starts this new beginning and is inexperienced, fine, but fine. You know what I mean? It's, who cares if it's for the first time? It is an experiment. I know that. Why am I surprised to get this reading out of the cards? It's a confirmation of what I already knew, what I already said, and yet it was worrying me. So basically what I did is I kept going with the cards. I shuffled once more and I just wanted to see, okay, fine, but how do I go about it? What do I do with these students? I already knew that this workshop way of teaching would bring a little bit more insecurity with these students, would possibly, would be a little bit less structured class, would be a little bit more freeform, which is definitely all of these things that I already knew, all these points I already knew, but also all these things I really like. So I don't really know why I was worrying about this extra with these groups. I think now in retrospect, it's definitely because I was thinking about, what if I lose this class, these classes? What if I lose these students? What if I let them down in not getting enough people drawn to the class, and these classes will be canceled for them? I don't want to be responsible. I'm not, but I would feel responsible if these classes were canceled because not enough students are there. And then it's very possible that the majority of these students would also stop dancing. I don't want to be responsible for that because, to be honest, they're all really good. And I don't even care about that. But you know what I mean? It's just this potential of, if you have the need to dance, that is something that only dancers understand. And I don't care what level you're at. I don't care if you do one dance class a month, or one every day, or two a day, or five a day as a professional dancer. I don't care about that. If you have the need to dance, this is something that you need to get out of your system. You need to do. You cannot be a dancer who doesn't dance. You know what I mean? So, obviously talking about something I'm passionate about. But I was getting into that Five of Pentacles mindset of loss, of not having enough, of losing, even losing something that I don't even really have at this point because it's supposed to still be growing. So I was already projecting. So this worry thing is something that we should try to calm down, like silence down, like calm down. I think getting into our body, right? Feeling our body and feeling in the here and now, not projecting so much before shuffling the cards and doing the reading. Honestly, the reading did feel good at the end, but it only felt true and helpful and really full circle helpful at the end of the day. When I came back, I knew this afternoon that I would not put these cards back in the pack. I had to leave them out on the table so that when I came home, I would check them and get the message and get a kind of, see, tarot is always right. And the reading was right as well. So I need a little break, but I'll be back for the B side. Okay? Okay, I'm back. And I wanted to point out that in this particular card, we get this little fellow who dropped his bag of treats and now it's left in the snow. So he actually did lose something. Totally felt for that little guy. Anyway, that card was interpreted in different ways because I pulled five cards and I basically had to stop myself because I realized that I was doing the stress, overthinking, worry thing, which sometimes happens even while doing a tarot reading for oneself. Let me know if this happens to you as well. I just wanted to say it and share it here to say we're not perfect, even if we explain on YouTube or wherever that we have these tarot rules, that we're not supposed to do this, we're supposed to do that, we're supposed to have a completely healthy mindset before doing a reading, we're not supposed to second guess the tarot, all of that. Still, we do. Why? Because we are imperfect human beings. We are all imperfect human beings. How much is that for equality, isn't it? All right, so I pulled five more cards before I stopped myself. Actually, now that I now that I see, I can glance over my mic and I see that I also turned around the deck to see the shadow card, which I also included in the reading, but more like a, oh, and then also that. But so basically six. That's a lot of cards. The next question that I asked the tarot was, I need some practical advice. So fine, I decide that I do this workshop thing, but how do I do it? What do I do? Sometimes the tarot can also provide very practical advice, very practical meanings. Like you get a card and you know that you're supposed to do some boundary energy work. Or you get another card and you know that you're supposed to call a person. You know what I mean? Those types of things. Not always. Sometimes it stays in, I don't know, the other realm kind of thing. And you have to sometimes just work extra hard to pull it down and get some practical advice. But here I definitely got practical advice. You can be sure of that. So what do I do with these students? Because I was worried about this new method. I was worried about them not liking it. I was worried about the whole thing about those classes, that they might not survive. And I was worried about, what else was I worried about? Oh yeah, basically with that more free-form class, that there wouldn't be enough material to work with. So what do I do? first card I get, as I said, I just interpreted this card differently. This card was interpreted differently about that scarcity mindset. But initially, that card came up, was the first card to come up, the Five of Coins was the first card to come up when I asked that question of, okay, so what do I do with them? And it was a weird card because it told me to let go of the stability, which I already knew, but just that, I think it was kind of a tarot jab at me. Like the tarot was saying, the thing you're afraid of, the thing you're worrying about now, the thing you're overthinking, that's exactly where you need to go. So go ahead and do that. Be the one who gives them something new, something that they don't know, something that in your mind they might not like, but do it anyway and see how they react. That was in the mindset that I had this afternoon. Wasn't enough of an answer. So I said, no, 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 wait, wait, wait. How do I act in class? What do I do in class? Four of Swords, the Rest card, the Calm card, the Quiet card. Damn you, tarot. Take it easy, relax. Don't be so much in that active mode. It's okay to leave a little bit of space in this class, in these classes today. You don't have to entertain all the time. That was the voice that I was getting. It's okay. You can take a step back. They won't mind. Actually, it's great with the thing that you have in mind. You have to let them do their own thing. It's an experiment, and at the same time it's a great class because they learn so much more than just dance steps. Either way, in every dance class, I think we learn more than just dance steps. We learn about confidence. We learn social skills. We learn how to see our teacher, how to see our fellow students. We learn, even as a teacher, I learn to teach every time I teach. I learn how to read every time I read. We are never done learning in any aspect of our lives. And here I'm getting the one card I didn't think would come up because I thought this was the last thing that I was supposed to do today. And yet, great advice because it's kind of like telling me, chill out, stop stressing. You need to take a step back and know in your own stable four emperor state of being, know that you know what you're doing. You're a pro. This is your job. You know what you're doing. You're the one who calls the shots. Remember? Still not enough. Still not enough. No, 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 wait, wait, wait. How do I do it? What do I do in class? Are you sick of me yet? But it's gonna get better. I got the Three of Cups. Again, one of those loosey-goosey kind of cards. It's okay to have fun. I don't know why I was stressing so much or I'm stressing so much. There's just so much happening, and sometimes I think we're not allowed to have fun in class because that means that we're not good teachers or something like that. Something that sounds a little bit less stupid or cruel or silly or stupid. Yeah, I already said stupid. Stupid twice. But this card came up. I need to follow my own rules. I need to take my own advice. The tarot is always right. Still, I was in this mindset. I had this idea. I'm not interpreting this right. My God, the next card I got. Freaking Hangman. Hang back. It's a big cosmic pause button. Don't be too much today. Today is the day to actually take a little bit of a step back and let them experience this work and do this work and experience this class in a different way. This is great advice. This is great. And you know what? They all had a blast. It's not even that these especially younger students and new students that they didn't do a good job, that they weren't able to get the lesson aspect of this workshop class. They all did a great job. So yes, it was new. Yes, they all had questions that I could answer with, obviously the experience and how it works because it's my idea. That showed in the last card that I got, the another king, the King of Pentacles, the King of Pumpkins in this deck, the father archetype, if you ask me. So they had all these questions, and I was explaining. I was explaining to them because this is the group that I got together with people who come back every week to get my class. I think that's pretty amazing. I'm so grateful for that. And, I know that I'm lucky in this way, that I get to do this and I get to be their dance teacher, their teacher, and there's more than just dance steps that we learn in dance class. And so yeah, fine, they had all these questions, but I was able to answer them and they understood it, and off they went and they did their thing, and it was great. It was beautiful. It was inspired. It was their own individual creation out of something that I just had to give a little nudge, like, today this is what we're doing. Now go and have fun. Today, this is what we're doing. I'm not supposed to interfere. I'm gonna look at this situation from that other perspective that I don't often take because I'm the teacher and I'm supposed to be the one who gives the information and gives the class. And this was new for them, not new for me, but new for them. And it was new for me because, in the sense that I had never done that with these students before. But hang back, let them have fun. I'm not supposed to interfere. That's how they actually get to the lesson. And just stop it with the scarcity mindset, basically. And you're not losing anything. This is something that your body needs to accept and your mind needs to accept. The last card I got, because it was the shadow card, I just basically had my deck like this, and all I did was, what's up with the shadow card? And it was the star, which is actually very different than Rider-Waite-Smith. I think we see a gargoyle coming to life, and then the little black cat looking a bit suspicious towards this big statue. This especially, I think, is a dream big type of message. Dream big. I had this idea, and I had just made it so much bigger in my head. It was completely misproportioned, and I will never underestimate these students as I did this afternoon, because that is the harsher lesson for me today. It's not only myself that I underestimated, I also underestimated these students. And it's okay to have a backup plan. It's okay to have plan B ready in case they hate it, they don't like it, or maybe the group turns out to be too small that day and we cannot do all of these fun things, or I don't know, any other reason. Maybe it just doesn't work out and you need to do something else with that time that you have with them. So obviously that's all fine and it's okay, especially for first time. You need to be ready, right? As the teacher, you need to be prepared. And I was prepared, but I was overthinking and I was worrying about this and that and that and that. Turns out I had absolutely nothing to worry about. Just worry about you stop worrying and then you'll get to enjoy this. So that is my personal lesson. And also a big fat reminder that even if we might not feel our best, even if we're tired, we're too busy, we're low in energy, we're insecure, we're just having a bad day maybe, or a bad week, and we still want to do that good job. We are still passionate about things, and it's still just so important. There, we hold so much value to it. And we turn to the cards. We should be able to let go of the fear or go through the fear. Read the message of the cards, because honestly, in the end, before leaving, I got the message. I got it. It's not like I remembered these cards during class. No, because I was busy teaching and I need all my focus there. I need to be concentrated. But I left with the feeling of, I cannot believe that I got so many cards that to me today basically mean the same thing. It was, I mean, 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 3 of Cups, Hanged Man, King of Pentacles, and then the Star. They were all confirmations of what I knew, but just didn't want to believe. Interesting. And I did leave with this feeling of, all right, well, I better trust the tarot. But truly, did I really need 6 extra cards? Did I not already read this exact same message when I turned over this card? Which is when I asked the second question, what do I do in class? How do I act? What do I do in class? The practical advice. And it was all about switching gears. To be completely honest, I also already could have stopped here with the first question because I had the idea in mind, passionate about it, definitely wanted to give it a go. Leadership, I'm the one who calls the shots, but I needed more of that. No, come on. You got this. You know this. Do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to rest, take a step back, have fun, and it's all for the good of the class. It's all for the good of the students. They actually learn a lot from it. It makes for better dancers. So take all of this in your own context and see in what other areas you may have been doing this as well. So it's not a bad thing that we need confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, but at the same time, I think I was kind of looking for another answer because I thought I already knew the answer. Whereas the tarot was definitely, without a doubt, telling me today, stop it already, give your class, and you'll see. It'll be fun and it'll be good for them. And good for you also. So I know I'm rambling, but I'm trying to make this conclusion, right? If I didn't really get to the point, because that happens sometimes, make my point in the comments. Please do. I need your help. I'm gonna just conclude with questions. What do you think? Is it okay to ask so many questions, pull so many cards? This for me is quite a lot, to be honest, over one question, you know? Pull so many cards because I have this worry thing and I'm trying not to do that, but it just happens and you don't really have control over it, do you? And the tarot, the wonderful tool that it is, the magical tool that it is, the healing tool that it is, actually helps. So it did bring me, the reading did bring me something good that I could use during the rest of the day, for the rest of the day. Or do you still feel that I should have had the insight of stopping at the first, second, or third card? Just that. That's my question. These are my questions. So what do you think? Please let me know. And this was my completely unscripted ramble about the tarot and worry, overthinking, and also apparently a lot about my dancing job. Thanks so much for being here. This is all I have to say at this point. I will see you next week. In case you haven't seen enough of my face, I will link another video in the screen for you to watch. Please like the video if you did, join the club, and see you next week.